Imagine a cold, foggy evening. The sea is churning restlessly, and the winds howl through the night. A lone ship appears in the distance, cutting through the thick fog, its ghostly silhouette drifting silently over the waves. The ship, impossibly, doesn't seem to be moving with the wind, but rather as if it's trapped in time, gliding over the sea as it did centuries ago. It is the Lady Lovibond, a ship lost to time, but somehow still haunting the waters off the coast of Kent, England. The Goodwin Sands, a treacherous and shifting sandbank, is infamous for claiming ships and sailors throughout history. But the legend of the Lady Lovibond is one that haunts the Goodwin Sands like no other. A ghost ship seen at intervals across the centuries, her tale has been passed down through generations. But is this truly a phantom vessel, or is it just a maritime mystery that has grown in the telling? Join us as we dive into the dark waters of this ghostly legend, explore its tragic history, and uncover the mystery behind the Lady Lovibond. The Goodwin Sands are a perilous sandbank situated off the coast of Kent, England, in the English Channel. The shifting sands are infamous among sailors, as they are notorious for sinking ships and leading them to watery graves. Ships, especially those navigating the narrow straits of the Dover Strait, would often find themselves drawn into the sands, with the tides playing tricks on their navigational tools and the currents pulling them toward their doom. Many ships have met their end in the Goodwin Sands, but one ship stands out in legend, the Lady Lovibond. This ship, while having a tragic fate, is the subject of one of the most enduring maritime ghost stories in history. The sands have long been the graveyard of ships, yet the spectral appearance of the Lady Lovibond continues to be witnessed by sailors and even residents of the coast. The story begins in 1748, a year that would forever be etched in the annals of maritime history. The Lady Lovibond was a beautiful ship, owned by a wealthy merchant, and it was set to sail from London to the port of Dover. The ship's voyage was not remarkable, but the events aboard would change everything. The story goes that the Lady Lovibond was carrying Thomas Ingram, a young man on board with a rather unfortunate love story. He had fallen in love with Sarah Williams, a beautiful woman from the town of Dover. But Sarah was promised to another man, her fiancé, Captain Simon Reed, who was also on the same voyage. Captain Reed, the ship's commander, was well aware of Thomas's affections for Sarah, and the tension on board was palpable. Thomas, crushed by his unrequited love, was consumed by jealousy, knowing he could never have Sarah for himself. As the ship sailed toward Dover on that fateful night, Thomas Ingram's heart grew dark with envy and anger. Some say that in a fit of rage, he sabotaged the ship. Whether it was a deliberate act of malice or the act of a man desperate to take the woman he desired for himself, no one knows for certain. But the ship was doomed. On that evening in 1748, just off the coast of the Goodwin Sands, a catastrophe occurred. It is said that Thomas Ingram caused the ship to veer off course, leading it directly into the Goodwin Sands, where the ship became stuck. The tides were cruel, and the sandbanks proved fatal. The crew struggled, but the ship was stuck fast, and despite the best efforts of the crew, it was no match for the forces of nature. As the Lady Lovibond sank, the crew perished, and so did Thomas and Sarah. However, the story does not end there. The wreck of the Lady Lovibond was not the end of its tragic tale. As the years passed, rumors began to swirl about a strange and ghostly sighting. Sailors and residents along the Kent coastline began to report seeing a mysterious phantom ship gliding silently over the waves, always near the Goodwin Sands. The most curious part of the story? The ship appeared to be the Lady Lovibond, sailing as if time had not passed since that fateful night in 1748. The sightings of the Lady Lovibond continued for years, sometimes appearing in the fog on the anniversary of the shipwreck. Locals would report seeing the ghostly figure of the ship, sometimes just the outline of its hull in the distance, or occasionally a full, spectral version, appearing to sail toward the sands once again. Sailors would describe the ship as sailing smoothly through the waters, but once it reached the sands, it would simply vanish. One of the most famous sightings occurred in 1798, when a group of sailors reported seeing the ship once more, only to watch it disappear without a trace. Some even claimed to have heard the eerie sound of a ship's bell tolling, as if summoning them to their doom. Over the years, sightings became more frequent, always coinciding with the anniversary of the Lady Lovibond's wreck. But what is the cause of these ghostly appearances? Is it the ship's tragic fate forever binding it to the waters? Or is there something more sinister at play? As the legend of the Lady Lovibond grew, so did the theories surrounding its phantom appearances. There are several ideas that seek to explain the recurring sighting of the ghostly ship. The curse of the Lady Lovibond. Some believe the ship is cursed, forever doomed to sail the seas. The tragic love story, with the jealousy and sabotage, has led some to believe that the spirits of those aboard are trapped in the ghostly ship, forced to relive their fateful end for eternity. This theory suggests that the ghost ship is not a simple apparition, but a supernatural force, bound by the wrongs of the past. The power of the Goodwin Sands. Others believe the Goodwin Sands themselves are somehow responsible for the apparitions. The shifting sands, with their long history of shipwrecks, may create a distorted form of time, a place where the spirits of lost vessels are trapped in a kind of limbo. The sightings of the Lady Lovibond could then be interpreted as an echo of the past, the spirits of those lost on the sands, returning in the form of their final journey. Natural phenomenon or maritime hallucinations. Of course, skeptics argue that the sightings of the Lady Lovibond are the result of natural phenomena, or the product of the mind playing tricks. The misty weather, the shifting sands, and the strange atmospheric conditions could cause mirages or illusions that look like a ghost ship. With the sandbanks notorious for playing tricks on sailors' navigation, it's possible that these sightings are just the result of natural forces. A collective maritime myth. Some believe that the ghost ship sightings could be the result of a collective myth, a story that has evolved over time through generations of sailors and coastal dwellers. The initial tragedy of the Lady Lovibond may have given rise to the idea of a ghost ship, and the sightings are nothing more than folklore and legend passed down through the years. Despite the various theories, the legend of the Lady Lovibond endures. Even today, sailors on the English Channel still report sightings of the ghostly ship near the Goodwin Sands. The eerie image of a ghostly vessel disappearing into the sands continues to capture the imagination of people around the world. Whether you believe in the curse, the supernatural forces of the sands, or a natural phenomenon, the mystery of the Lady Lovibond has become one of the most famous maritime ghost stories in history. To this day, the Goodwin Sands remain a dangerous place for sailors. But the legend of the Lady Lovibond will live on, forever bound to the shifting sands, a ghost ship sailing the waters, lost in time. The Lady Lovibond may have sunk into the depths of the Goodwin Sands, but its ghostly presence continues to haunt the waters off the coast of Kent. For more than 270 years, the phantom ship has appeared, reminding us that some tragedies never truly fade. Whether it's a tragic love story, a supernatural curse, or simply an enduring piece of maritime folklore, the ghost ship of the Goodwin Sands is a tale that won't soon be forgotten. So what do you think? Is the Lady Lovibond truly a ghost ship, doomed to sail the seas forever? Or is it a trick of the mind, passed down through the ages? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more chilling true crime stories and maritime mysteries.